going into a horror movie.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely work in that kind of
Yeah.
in that area quite a lot. Something that interests us, big horror fans.
That was going to be my next question. You just answered it so perfect. So, and I would have to. I'm just assuming this. Obviously, correct me if I'm wrong. But your guys' band name, Living Dead Girl, did that come from like the Living Dead or Dawn of the Dead, or did it kind of have like a connection with it, or is it just it just sounded good?
No, we were looking for ages and ages and loads of different things, even kind of like plant names and stuff like that for a band name. And we ended up coming across, there's a novel called Living Dead Girl, and that's kind of where it came from, really, not Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
we were writing down variations of Living Dead Girl for so long because we were after something that kind of got across that feeling that you're talking about, that kind of undescribable, kind of like that dread and that feeling of kind of dark, but at the same time that kind of innocence. And that's an idea we got as soon as we started writing songs, and we're making this kind of slightly dark, slightly creepy, twisted music. But then once Jess's kind of soft vocal goes on it, it gives it that weird, juxtaposition. You got this soft vocal and this dark music, so the band name really fit with that.
And that's what I like about it is, Jess, you come across like with the soft vocals, it comes out across as creepy. Also, it almost makes you sound a little bit more. I'm trying to think of the best way to put this, but it makes you stand out that much more just because the vocals alone is like that this either when people hear this, wow, the singer, it's creeping me the f out, but it's still really cool just because of the tonality of it. And I think for you, would be a lot of fun being able to work with your own vocals and add certain things to it to make it that much more intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me as well, it was always it was really cool working with Jess because I've come from kind of a history of rock bands. So then to come in and to hear Jess's ideas vocally coming from like worlds away from what I would do with it, but then hearing this kind of soft, kind of high up, creepy vocal, it just changed how I wrote, and yeah, it was really inspiring for me on the other side of that.
I can only imagine because from rock, like metal, whatever the mix was, just in general. I mean, you're completely different. So like, I mean, I couldn't imagine when you first started working with her, going, no, this is actually going to be really effing cool because this is completely different. It's completely out of the box for you, right?
Yeah, it was refreshing. I'm from a really kind of grunge rock background, and then I've gone into like kind of industrial rock, industrial metal, but like then to find that crossover with Jess where we're listening to trip hop and to kind of dark electronic stuff, and we're finding that kind of shared and then thinking actually we could do this, and then that first kind of couple songs that we wrote and kind of feeling this could actually work. Yeah, it was definitely exciting.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump back a little bit here to when you guys first met. How did you guys meet up initially to start playing music, or just kind of meet up in general?
Do you want to get that one?
Down the hole.
Oh, you can cut it down if you like. I mean, that's totally up to you. So.
Well, we were introduced by an ex-girlfriend of Jono's, and then we were in a covers band together for a bit, and then probably like a year or so after that is when we actually started doing music.
Yeah, because we were working as kind of musicians in our own right, and we came together to do like function gigs.
Right.
You play your pubs, clubs, birthdays, weddings, the kind of stuff that a lot of us have to do kind of on the side,
right?
When you're doing your own stuff. But then we both learned that we were both kind of competent musicians, and then it kind of comes up, oh, what are you working on? Oh, I'm working on this, I'm working on this. And then eventually, actually, I've got this song, do you want to try and put something on it? And then, we just decided to go for it. It all happened really quickly after that.
Very cool. And that's the fun about it. Not every band has like a super funny or interesting story, but it's cool to see how the band came about, because there's just so many. Well, there's limited possibilities of how it happens, and it's always it's another curiosity to me too, just because I'd like to know, if they were friends growing up, or they just kind of met in a bar one night and said, "No, it's jam," and all of a sudden, bang, they got something like really good.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's different for everybody, of course, but yeah, sometimes just the music you have in common and the will to see what happens is I'm always willing to try it with everybody. We've all kind of got a lot of musical friends, so we've just seen what clicks. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But with Jess, it just all happened really quickly. So yeah, why not? Why not keep trying?
Absolutely. Now, has there been any outside? Well, okay, let me rephrase that. What are, if you can give me at least one of influences you guys have? Who would they be?
For the band, what do you think?
Portishead. What's the other main one?
Yeah, Portishead for that kind of, let's keep it authentic, stripped back, soft vocal over that kind of dark music. We're both big fans of Nine Inch Nails. A lot of soundtrack stuff has been a big one. A lot of kind of early Tim Burton, Danny Elfman stuff.
Game soundtracks.
Yeah, we're both really into games, so we talk about games and trying to get across the feeling of certain ones, like BioShock was something that we both really had a shared interest in. Yeah, those are the big ones. Massive Attack's another one, another kind of great fusion of electronic and trip hop, that kind of dark feeling. Just anything that gives you that kind of feel, really.
I'm glad you mentioned Massive Attack, because when we first played the song, myself and co-host and friend of mine, Dave, he's a singer for a band called Grasscutter out of Newcastle, and that was one of the things he mentioned. As soon as he said that, I was like, "No, what? You're absolutely right. It's Massive Attack for sure," because we're both big fans, and that sparked a little Massive Attack discussion after the song. But either way, I'm glad you brought that up, because most definitely, and I mean, I would hope most people know who Massive Attack are, or at least for the song Teardrop, because if you haven't heard it on the radio, then you had to hear it on the intro to the TV show House. At the very least,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right, so next up, we're going to get up to a song you guys are going to be releasing officially on the September 16th, so 16th of this month. And I'll let you guys cue this one up.
Cool. Well, we're Living Dead Girl. This is our new single, Autumn. It's out on Friday the 16th. Hope you like.
Dig this. Living Dead Girl with Autumn. This is their new single that will be released officially on September 16th. Now, I like this song in particular just because it had a bit of a different flow to it. And vocally, Jess, you remind me of two people. One we were talking about, which one being Beth Gibbons from Portishead. And the other is, I feel bad because I can never remember her name, but Trent Reznor's wife from How to Destroy Angels.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
Mary Queen?
Mary Queen Mandig. Mary Queen Mandig. That's it. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah.
She was actually also in a band in 2004, I believe, called West Indian Girl.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah.
And I checked them out. I was like, no, these guys are pretty cool. But so yeah, both those together, really impressive song. Like I said, bit of a different pace, sort of. I mean, didn't seem as dark as Skylines, but it still had that cool feel and good mix in there because I picked up like a little industrial mix in there as well. I mean, I might be off base on that one, but it's just what I heard in it.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, that one was I had to give full credit. That was one of Jess's songs that she brought to the table, and yeah, it definitely felt different than what we were making at the time. It's more, it feels more optimistic, but then again, there's also that feeling in the lyrics and in some of the production that therethere's a bit of a cynicism or a bit of a sinister side to it, and it's I don't know. There's still something in there. It's not a shallow, happy song. There's a lot that Jess has put in there, and it's an old one. It was produced with a friend of ours called Will, and it's been kind of lurking around for a while, but it definitely needed to see the light of day. I think it was. I'm glad that it fit for the project because I'm glad it got finished and got out there.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, do you have any other songs that are kind of finished, but you may go back to at some point?
That's a tough one because John is always kind of like recycling old songs, so you make something and then sometimes it's not quite right, but you can come back to it. But I get quite bored, so I always like to move on and make new stuff all the time. So yeah. I guess it's kind of a mix.
I get very attached because what do you do with them? If you have a song and you finish it, but it's not quite right for what you're working in at the time, I don't know. I always hang on to it just in case. But yeah, sometimes I can pull something out and it can be like a 5-year-old thing, and we decide to give it a go. But yeah. Sometimes it really is just best to wipe the hard drive clean, start again. You know, because you've changed since then. You know what you're doing more. And yeah, sometimes it is better to do it like that. Start fresh.
So is it sort of a case what Jess wants, Jess gets?
Of course, no.
Well, a bit.
Well, yeah, the philosophy that we do in the band, and I think you have to do with any band, is try it, and if it's better, you have to keep it. But the problem you encounter is there's a point where if you're not excited by it, you don't want to work on it, and the second it starts feeling like a chore, you need to spice it up. So sometimes I'll just pass the song over to Jess where I just hit a wall with it,